Hello, everybody. We've reached the end of topic 5. So today we are going to be reviewing all of topic 5, and then tomorrow we will have the topic 5 assessment. Just like I did in topic 4, I've gone ahead and made some recordings of each of the problems from your review assignment. So hopefully you've gone through your review assignment and then on any of the problems where you were struggling. That's why we have these videos, so you can take a look and see how to do them. Okay, so we'll see how far I get in this first video, and once I start getting close to the end of my time, then I'll have to stop and probably create a second video to do some more of these problems in the review. All right, so anyway, number 1 on the review. Tony has 5 goats, 12 pigs, and 26 chickens on his farm. Write the ratio of chickens to pigs in 3 ways. If we're writing the ratio of chickens to pigs, I'm going to put chickens over pigs. You can write it as a fraction like this. Or you can write ratios with a colon, chickens to pigs. Or you can use the word to, T-O, and we can go chickens to pigs. So I look up in the top here and there are 26 chickens. So we have 26 chickens. And then we have 12 pigs on Tony's farm. So 26 over 12 is one way you could write it, or you could write 26 to 12 with a colon, or you could write 26 to 12 using TO for 2. Okay, and that actually is one of our choices. It's this one right here. Now you could actually simplify this and write 13 to 6. For every 13 chickens, he has 6 pigs, but we weren't asked to do that in this problem. We just needed to write this ratio in 3 different ways. Okay, number 2. A baker uses 6 cups of water for every 4 cups of cocoa. I'm going to write that down. 6 cups water for 4 cups of cocoa. All right, to make his brownies. He uses 6 cups of water for every 4 cups of cocoa in his brownie mix. What is the ratio of cocoa to total brownie mix? Interesting. Well, the cocoa here is 4. But now what is that? What's the total brownie mix? Well, we have to take the water, the cocoa, and combine them. 6 plus 4 equals 10 cups of cocoa, of brownie mix, 10 cups of brownie mix. 6 cups of that is water, 4 cups of it is cocoa. But we do have 10 cups total here of the brownie mix. So we need to put 10 here. We have 4 cups of cocoa for every 10 cups of brownie mix. Okay, so our ratio is 4 to 10, and we can write that with a colon or with the word to, T-O, 4 to 10, which is our answer to this one, 4 to 10. Now, again, you could simplify that and say, well, that's a 2 to 5 ratio, 2 cups of cocoa for every 5 cups of brownie mix, but we're not asked to do that. We're just asked to give the ratio as is, 4 to 10. Number 3, what are 2 equivalent ratios to 4 to 20? You know, the easiest way that I think there is to do this is to write it like a fraction. If you have the ratio 4 to 20, you can write it like a fraction like this. Okay? That's, I think, is the easiest way to write ratios. And the first thing I would do is figure out, well, what would this be if I fully simplified it? Well, I could divide these both by 4, couldn't I? And I would get 1 to 5. And I actually do see the ratio 1 to 5 here. I see it here as well. 5 to 1 is definitely not right. And 1 to 4 we can see is not right because 1 to 5 and 1 to 4 are not the same thing. Okay, so it's down to these 2 options here, 1 to 5, or this one here also has 1 to 5. Okay, Now, if you write these as fractions, you have 3 to 15 here as well. Up here you have 2 to 15. Well, those can't both be equal to 1/5. And actually, if you were to simplify this one by dividing them both by 3, you'd get 1 to 5. So that's a match with 1 to 5. This one's excellent right here. That's the one we want. Okay. 2 to 15, you can't even simplify that because 2 and 15 don't share any common factors other than 1, and that won't help us to simplify it. All right, so another way we could do this same problem, there always is more than one way to do things, is to look at that ratio of 4 to 20. And I see these are compatible numbers. In fact, to get from 4 to 20, I can multiply by 5. So you want to look for something where the first number multiplied by 5 would equal the second number. Like you have here, 4 times 5 is 20. 1 times 5 is 5. 2 times 5 is 10. Uh-oh, that doesn't work. Here, 5 times 5 would be 25, not 1. 1 times 5 is 5. 3 times 5 is 15. Here, 1 times 5 is 5, not 4, so that's no good. So that's another way you can do this, and it works really well if your values happen to be compatible like they are here. 4 goes into 20 exactly 5 times. So just another way of doing that same type of problem. All right, number 4, what is the ratio 9 to 63 in simplest form? Now, we can actually solve this when it's written like this with a colon, our ratio, but I think it's easier to write the ratio in fractional form. Okay, once I know my answer, I can always convert it back so it's written with a colon. So it's not a problem to do it like this. Is there anything that goes into both 9 and 63? Actually, we can divide them both by 9. And when we do that, 9 divided by 9 is 1. 63 divided by 9 is 7. So we have a ratio of 1 to 7, which can be written with a colon. That's this option right here. Okay, so there's number 4. Number 5, in a parking lot, there are 42 pickup trucks and 14 cars. Write the ratio of cars to pickup trucks. So we want the cars first, pickup trucks second. Okay, so the cars, we have 14 cars. Pickup trucks, we have 42 pickup trucks. So that's the order we want them, 14 to 42. Now, can I simplify this? Well, let's take a look. 14 to 42, we could write it as a fraction also. 14 does go into 42. You can divide these both by 14. And you have a 1 to 3 ratio. Okay, now our answer choices are given with the colon instead of in fractional form. So we'd want this one right here, 1 to 3 with the colon. Okay, that's all there is to that. Just fully simplify it. Number 6, fill in the blank with a value that makes the ratios equivalent. 42 to blank equals 6 to 9. This will be much, much easier if you write these as fractions and then write yourself a proportion. 42 to something, I'm just going to put 42 over something. I'll just put a box there for that missing value. Equals 6 to 9. Well, I'd have 6 over 9 then. See, when it's written like this, like a proportion, look how easy this is. How do I get from 42 to 6? Well, 6 times 7 is 42. So 42 divided by 7 equals 6. So what divided by 7 would equal 9? Reverse that. 9 times 7 is 63. 63 divided by 7 is 9. So I know my answer is 63. Okay? We could have done this with it written like this, but it's not nearly as easy. 42 to 6, you can divide by 7. What divided by 7 is 9? Well, 63 divided by 7 is 9. Okay. Number 7, what is an equivalent ratio to 8 over 20? Well, you could divide these both by 2, and you'd get 4 to 10, which actually is one of our choices right here, 4 to 10. So I already know the answer. You could have divided these both by 4, and you'd have 2 over 5. I don't see that choice here anywhere. And honestly, the easiest way to do a problem like this, what I would recommend on a problem like this, is just get every single ratio in simplest terms. Like 8 over 20, divide them both by 4, and you'd get 2/5. And then do that here. This one, 1/4 is in simplest terms, so is 1/3. 4/10, if you simplify that by dividing them both by 2, you get 2/5. As you can see, that matches with this one, 2/5. Okay, 12 over 32, if you simplify that, you can actually divide these both by 4. You'd get 3 over 8, which is not a match with 2 over 5. So that's another way you can do this, is just express them all in simplest terms and find the match. All right, number 8, which pair of ratios can form a proportion? In other words, which pair of ratios are equivalent? Just like I was saying in that last one, if you just express everything in simplest terms, that'd be the easiest way to do it. See how these all have 3/8 at the front end? In effect, I'm just trying to figure out which of these equals 3/8. So here, to get from 3 to 24, you have to multiply by 8. So check that with the 8. What's 8 times 8? Well, it's 64, not 56. So this one's no good. 3, how do you get from that to 21? Well, multiply by 7. So take 8 times 7, that'd be 56. Is that a match here? No. 3, how would you get to 18? By multiplying by 6. 3 times 6 is 18. What's 8 times 6? 48. Is that a match here? No. 3, how do you get to 21? You multiply by 7. So try that with the 8. What's 8 times 7? Oh boy, it's 56. We have a match. 3/8 does equal 21 over 56. Because 3 times 7 is 21, and 8 times 7 is 56. Okay? Which ratio cannot form a proportion or is not equivalent with 5/6? So when we have 5/6, 3 of these 4 are going to equal 5/6. One of them will not. Again, I would just simplify all of these. 10/12, divide these both by 2. If you divide them both by 2, you get 5/6. That matches. 35 over 42. What goes into both of those numbers? You know what? 7 does. I can divide them both by 7, and I get 5 over 6. That's a match. How about 25 over 36? Uh-oh, we can't even simplify this one because 25 and 36 don't share any common factors. So I think I found it. 25 over 36. Okay, now just to make sure, 20 over 24, we can divide these both by 4. And when we do, we get 5 over 6, which matches with the 5/6 over here. So that one checked out as well. It's the 25 over 36, which doesn't match. All right, I'm out of time for this video. So I'll pick up on the next video for the next group of problems, starting with number 10.